I was like, oh, not normal.
2 names, no more.
Smack those cobwebs off her. Skibbity.
Yeah, hard for me to breathe. Let me go fucking do some striking.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
How fun would it be if it was by El Doctor Stoppage?
I was trying to say dicks and dicks. Come on, that shit together. You get dicks. Welcome back to MMA Mathletes. My name's Sean. This is Joe. We're 2 casual MMA fans who happen to be degenerate gamblers. Come join us while we chase the perfect parlay each week. There are no UFC fights this week, but don't worry. We're going to break down the Amanda Serrano versus Reina Téllez fight card. And if you enjoy our content, make sure you're subscribed.
All right, so this past weekend, we had the Inoue versus Picasso fight card. We were pretty close. It wasn't a very long fight card. It was like 4 fights or something. But Inoue obviously crushed it. He looked so good out there. He made Picasso look amateur. That's how good he was. He retained his belt. And then Junto, I mean, that was a pretty crazy fight. Some say he won. Some say he lost. One of the judges had it 118 to 110, which is crazy. I definitely think they should look into that because that was insane. I actually had it scored tied, like dead even, or even Hernandez winning. I think that Junto won the first 4, and then the next 6 were pretty much all Hernandez, and then possibly one of those 6 going to Junto. So I was expecting a draw, and then that didn't happen. That was weird. I don't really see how you can give it a 118 to 10 though. So I didn't think we were going to have any, but we actually do have some MMA fight news. Islam Makhachev tells Russian media that training has begun and he'll be facing Kamaru Usman at UFC 327 in Dubai.
That's an interesting fight right there, actually.
And it continues. John Pork will be on the same card against Manuel Torres.
Oh, weird.
Weird.
I thought it was going to be Dylan Dennis.
I don't know how accurate all that stuff is because it's kind of like a reporter said that this was said type thing. But if he's fighting Usman, who do you think takes that?
I honestly don't know.
That's a great fight. I'm actually here for that fight.
It's a very interesting fight. First off, Kamaru Usman, very experienced wrestler. And he knows the Dagestan system very well. And on top of it, he's a big welterweight. It's hard for him to get to welterweight. I mean, we saw him fight Hamzat at 185. And he looked good at 185. You know, like he didn't look like he was like really small or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just think that that's a very interesting fight for Islam to take. I mean, one thing that is kind of interesting as well is that Islam is southpaw going up against orthodox, which is going to kind of remove a lot of Kamaru's jabbing ability, which he has a really good jab. He has an excellent jab. So that's a very interesting aspect that maybe that doesn't pay off. Maybe it does pay off. I'm just curious to see how that goes.
Oh, I definitely have Usman. I don't think I'm gonna have him winning. Do you think he's gonna win? You think it's on his way out?
I think he has a chance to win. I don't know whether or not he's going to win, but I think he's honestly Islam's toughest test.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance.
I think that's a very interesting fight for Islam to take. I think Islam's gonna take it, but I'm rooting for Usman just because I'm a big fanboy of.
Yeah. And on top of it, if he's like, if this is ending his career, like he's getting there, I mean, he might have that extra motivation to just, this is my last ride, the last dance. Like, let's just go out with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
And that always makes things interesting.
True. Like Henry Cejudo, when he fought Talbot.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that fight at all. I was really confused why he wasn't just playing it safe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn, you're actually going to put it all out there? Sick. I'm here for this fight, bro.
Because, like,
the competitor in him is like, dude.
Well, either he wins and you're like, wow, that was an impressive win. Good for you. Or he loses, but he went out in the blaze of glory. If he was to retire after the Islam fight, if that was to happen, and he lost, we're not going to think of him as, oh, dude, he lost against Islam. Like, oh, dude, he put up a fight against Islam.
True.
That was a great fight that he had against Islam. So, I mean, he could definitely give him a lot of problems. And I think he matches up really well with Islam.
I agree 100%. What do you think about that John Pork?
I don't know. I don't know enough about John Pork to really.
I mean, we might see an early end to the hype train, or we might see someone catapult into some really fun fights.
Yeah. I think either way that fight probably doesn't make it past the first or second round.
Really?
Yeah. pretty.
I mean, it just sucks because I'm a big Manuel Torres guy.
Yeah, because I think Torres, he's that guy. He's going to either put him out in the first round or he's going to get put out in the first round.
Literally what I was saying last time he fought, dude.
Yeah, he's literally do or die.
Yeah, 100%.
And I love that fight style. But it is really difficult to bet on that fight style. But I am rooting for Manuel Torres.
So Terrence Crawford just said that Conor McGregor did better against Floyd Mayweather than Jake Paul did for Anthony Joshua.
Damn.
And I think that I would agree. I think 1,000%.
I mean, he actually boxed
For 10 rounds.
Floyd.
Yeah, 10 rounds of boxing with Floyd. Proper boxing. Like, he may have been winning a few of the rounds, but Floyd, he put the pace on him later on.
Yeah.
Later on. He put the pace on him later on.
I mean, I understand why Jake fought the way he did. Obviously, huge weight class disadvantage for him. And on top of it, a power disadvantage.
You couldn't even tell, though.
Yeah, right? Obviously, his strategy was to kind of counteract those disadvantages, but it does make it for that not being that great of a boxing match. And ultimately, you're not trying to box to win. You're kind of boxing to survive, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Conor, that whole fight, he was boxing to win. I think he took a couple rounds from Floyd.
Looks like the Floyd versus, before it was stopped, the Floyd versus McGregor fight goes 89-82, 89-81, 87-83. All of them had Mayweather winning, but I mean, McGregor won some of those rounds. Jake Paul is under the assumption that he won the first couple of rounds. But also, Anthony Joshua didn't come out guns blazing.
Yeah. And also, he technically won.
Yeah.
If you throw one punch, land one punch, kind of circle away for the rest of the round, and the other person didn't land one, I guess technically you won that round. But it's, you know, it's like with such a big asterisk.
Yeah, 100%.
Versus Conor winning a round against Floyd when Floyd was Floyd. You know, like he's in the like height of his dominance, being Floyd. Taking a round off of him is impressive. Taking multiple rounds off of him, and especially not boxing. Like, you know, Conor was not professionally boxing before that. He was literally coming straight off of MMA fights into boxing, which is, you know, going from playing chess in MMA to going to play checkers in boxing.
True. And Mayweather threw 320 shots at McGregor. McGregor threw 430. That was more of a boxing litmus test than Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, in my opinion.
I agree. I don't think that's a wild take at all. I think that's lukewarm at best.
So for the most fun and exciting news, Peter Yan posted a photo on his Instagram story of him and Sean O'Malley fighting on the front lawn of the White House.
I'm here for it. Let's get it.
I mean, and then Sean O'Malley reposted it basically like, hey, yeah, I'm on. So he just needs to get through Song Yadong and then go fight Peter Yan.
I just really hope that he's not looking at that next fight so much and being excited for that fight that he's overlooking Song.
I don't think he is. I think he's like, I need to go out there and I need to put this fool out. I need to earn this thing. Because like when he said, man, I'm not even on like main events. I'm not doing all stuff. I've fallen off. I think that really did get to him. I think for a second he was like, damn, am I like McGregor? But I didn't do as much as McGregor did before he became McGregor. You know what I mean? He's still so young in the sport. So I think that really got to him. I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to put on one heck of a performance against Song Yadong.
Dude, if he puts out Song, dude, that fight is going to be so sick.
But if he puts out Song and the Peter Yan fight happens, that's a lot of growth. Fighting Merab twice for camps, even though he didn't get full camps because he was injured and stuff. Doing that, then doing the Song fight. And all this time, I'm praying that he's full year round training like an athlete. Goes in this Peter Yan fight, a brand new fighter. That's an interesting fight.
Yeah.
And when we were like, oh yeah, Merab versus Peter is an interesting fight, this is also an interesting fight.
What makes this an interesting fight with Peter Yan and Sean O'Malley, it's hard to hit Peter Yan at the end of your punches. He's really good at getting in on the inside and really getting some good body shots in versus Sean O'Malley. His best asset that he's had and will have is the fact that he can use his length for that division, and he's really good at snapping his shots from very long distances. So it's like two really good strengths that go against each other, and it's like who can do it better. And that's why the first fight was actually like probably Sean's most interesting fight in terms of him like overcoming adversity and all, having all these different little storylines within the fight. I mean, it's probably the most intriguing fight that he's done.
I'm a Sean O'Malley fanboy.
Yeah.
And I had Sean O'Malley losing that fight. So when he got his hand raised, I was like, take the win. Run out of the octagon. Run.
That's like Norma Dumont this year.
Yeah. So, no, don't compare her. I was like, oh, not Norma. Yeah. So Sean O'Malley, I hope he comes out and he puts like a statement like, man, look at me, Peter Yan. Let's get this shit going. And then I hope that he goes and he beats Peter Yan because I think that Sean O'Malley's a more fun and interesting champion. But I think Peter Yan is more of a champion, if that makes any sense.
No, like Peter Yan, he's like kind of like the old school style of champion where he's just like,
they're two different styles.
Yeah, almost like that stoic, like he's like the king of them, and versus Sean O'Malley is kind of the jester, where but the thing is, the jester is what makes like things go.
Yeah,
him, popping shots at people, poking fun at other people, all that shit. That's when the division becomes really interesting and fresh.
Yeah,
and then on top of it, if he was to win, then it's like now he has all these other competitors that make him look very interesting as well. Like Peyton Talbot, him versus Peyton Talbot. That's ultimately, if you're the UFC and you're trying to, tinfoil hat, you're trying to make really good matchups and trying to make good championship fights. In the pipeline has to be Sean O'Malley versus Peyton Talbot, because it's kind of like the previous generation, like slightly previous generation, slightly new, slightly used generation, Sean O'Malley versus the brand new version, the like newest edition, the 50-90 of strikers. So it becomes this whole interesting matchup on that, and see if like the old guard can beat the new guard type of thing.
I think it's crazy that Cejudo, he came back to the UFC. He was like, man, I can't wait to beat the brakes off Sean O'Malley. And he just had his sights on Sean O'Malley for so long. And he kept just dropping ranks, just slowly in quicksand, watching Sean O'Malley just on dry land.
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
Like a fucking like MCU villain.
Yeah,
just slowly losing.
Yeah, seriously. And then now Peyton's surpassed him and he's on his way up. So somewhere they're gonna meet in the middle and they're gonna have to fight. Whether if Sean loses the song, I mean, you can make that fight early as fuck. Yeah. And that wouldn't be a very good fight, like good timing for Peyton. But you could make it happen, I guess. But if he goes and fights Peter Yan, then in that time Peyton goes and he fights like one or two guys, and then Peyton goes and he gets to like top five. Top five, if Sean is champion, just throw him in there. Let's just have fun, That's
gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, it's gonna sell. It'll be fun. And then if he drops below champion status, still have them battle. Yeah. So like if you're like, oh, I think that Peyton Talbot can fight the champion, whoever that is at the time. It's like, have him fight Sean. Like, don't let him leapfrog Sean. Yeah. Get that fight going.
Oh, 100%. That fight, I'm telling you, that fight is going to be, whenever it happens, is going to be the fight of the year.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's going to be like just such an interesting fight. It better be 5 rounds. If it's 3 rounds, I'm going to be pissed as shit, because we deserve 5 rounds of just a super interesting striking match that can kind of go anywhere. Especially because Peyton Talbot has gotten so much better, like vastly better on his ground game. And so it's like, oh, maybe he takes him down. Maybe he does something there. Sean O'Malley, he's been doing so many wrestling camps. He's got to be like at least decent at wrestling. So maybe it goes there. You don't know. So
it's hard to tell, because like every time that we're like, oh, we're going to see him against a wrestler or something like that, you find out later, it's leaked that he was injured during the fight, before the fight. He couldn't even wrestle the entire camp because he had an injury. Like, it just sucks.
The thing that sucks about wrestling though is that it is like that, where it's like you're
always injured. Yeah.
That's why like
I hate grappling for that reason. It's like you just trying to always be injured.
yeah, and you're just like, yeah, just popped that fucking cartilage in my rib,
Yeah.
the other day.
Cool. Can't wait to go fight
Yeah.
5 rounds.
Yeah, hard for me to breathe. Let me go fucking do some striking.
Yeah.
It sounds like fun.
100%. It's like you pop like, the cartilage, and then you got like a bum toe. And so you're like probably like 60 to 70%. What if that guy is 100%? Like, that sucks, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it's 100%? Fuck that.
I think that's going to be a sick ass fight. That's all like, ultimately, that's the dream fight currently to make.
I agree.
Especially at like 135.
All right, before we get into this week's fight picks, we are going live on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube this Saturday. We're going to be reacting and live betting to each fight. So, win big or lose big, you don't want to miss it.
First fight up, we have Gabriel Bernardo versus Chris Echevarria. Who you got?
I have Chris. Gabriel's coming off of 2-fight losing streak, which is pretty tough to come back from. I don't think he's going to come back from it, honestly. At least not with going against Chris. I think we may see a finish. I think Chris may get it done. But both of those fights, he lost December 2024, and then he lost June of this year. Those are recent losses.
Yeah.
And you just kind of get in that headspace where you're just spinning, And so I think that when he gets in there, he might get hit with something, or he might be doing something like getting outclassed in any way. And he might be thinking to himself and just doubting himself a little bit and getting his emotions and thinking like, man, maybe I can't pull myself out of this skid. Maybe I can't win this fight. How did I do this before? I'm in a rut, this, that, and the other thing. And then I think he's honestly probably just going to get the yips. And like I said, I think that Chris is going to be way too clean on fight night. And I think we may see a finish.
I agree. I also have Chris on this one. I think it's a really fun fight just for the aspect that you have Chris. He's like the shorter fighter, but he's also the pressure fighter. And then you have Gabriel, who is the taller, rangier fighter that allows pressure. So it's interesting to see how that plays out and the stylistic matchup. But I just think Chris is just like a little bit better than him at everything. And I think along with having the confidence of being on a win streak and everything like that, it's really difficult once you have 2 losses, especially in boxing, where you're just like, well, hopefully the next one's going to be good. And then it doesn't go your way. You're like, oh God. And you just slowly deflate this ego that you built up.
And all of a sudden you become a stepping stone. Like you just get booked for these stepping stone fights where you're just going to get battered. And it's like, if that's the route you want to go, then go that route. That's fine. But I don't know if he's going to, like, this is not the guy you want to get your win back on.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get it back on this guy.
Yeah. You should be getting like a stepping stone to try to get your confidence back.
You're going the wrong way.
And
bro.
this is not that guy that you want to have to like try to get your confidence back.
Yeah, I agree.
Next up, I have Caleb Josue Tirado Pagan versus Justin Hill. Who you got?
I have Caleb on this one. He's southpaw. He has more of like an Olympic boxing style. Justin has a very smothering pressure to him, but he has not the best defense. He doesn't cover up very well. He just wants to lean on you and try to just batter your body. I don't think he's going to get that far with that game plan against Caleb. It's only 4 rounds as well, so I don't think we're going to see a knockout or anything. I mean, we might see a 10-8 round, but I don't think we're going to see anything like any knockouts or anything spectacular. I think it's just going to go the distance. So I think Caleb by decision would be a safe bet.
I completely agree. I have Caleb winning this. I think his experience in ring control that he displays is just going to carry him. I think it's going to kind of overwhelm and frustrate Hill, unless Justin can kind of like throw something that Caleb cannot predict and actually catches him with something. That's the only thing I can think of that's actually going to sway him to possibly win this fight. But besides that, I think that Caleb is just going to, just outpace him. Just is what it is. Next, I have Yandiel Lozano versus Junto Ramos Cotto. Who do you got?
I have Yandiel. I think that he's going to take it. I think that he's very accurate. He's undefeated in his pro record. I think Yandiel is on a different level than the people that have been hurting Yandiel. So I think we might see a TKO KO. This is a 6-round fight. Yandiel, also a southpaw. So it's going to be really hard for him to adjust to that southpaw stance.
I also have Yandiel money line. I think it's going to be a close fight, though. I mean, I'm choosing Yandiel because of his ability to kind of like inside box. And I think that he's going to be able to nullify Cotto's length and reach. So I think that's going to be like his biggest problem going up against Junto. But I definitely think he can get it done. But I think it's going to be a pretty close fight.
Next, we have Alexis Chaparro versus Augusto, Leal, Salazar. Who do you have?
I have Alexis moneyline possible KO. Give me pretty easy. I think that he has devastating power. I think he has overwhelming length. He's an absolute problem in that weight division, being 6'3". So
yeah, I feel like Alexis is going to take this. I don't think it's going to be a knockout, though. I think it's going to go the distance. Augusto, he likes to throw the jab a lot, and that's actually what Alexis counters off of. So I think it's going to be really interesting that he's kind of just going to be feeding him the counters that he likes to counter off of. So, I mean, we could see a KO. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm leaning more towards it's going to go the distance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think it could definitely happen. Like, if there's one out of these like prelim fights that's like I would put my money on a KO, this would definitely be one of those fights.
Well, I mean, like the best way to get a KO is when someone doesn't see something coming or when they're doing something in that moment. Mm-hmm. So off a counter, great way to KO someone.
Yeah, you're causing a car crash. Next, we have Abner, Figueroa, Cotto versus Edwin Rodriguez. Who you got?
I have Abner. He's 7-0. I think he's been on a complete tear. The only thing that makes me a little bit weary of placing money on him is that he's a little too defensively sound sometimes. Or not too defensively sound, I guess, but too defensive. So he'll go 45 seconds not throwing anything and just moving around the ring and just being defensive. Not throwing any counters, not throwing anything at all. Like they'll reset and everything, and he'll just sit here and not throw. And then he waits, and then he starts pairing and shit. And then he just does it for 45 seconds. So it kind of makes me nervous, but I do think he's not going to get knocked out because he's so defensively sound. So I do favor him in this fight, but I think it's going to go to the distance. So if you don't favor him in this fight, I would just put it on the over.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I have Abner money line. I think it's, just that classic, like promising prospect versus a stepping stone. I mean, Edwin Rodriguez, I don't think he's like the greatest. I don't think he's terrible. I just think he's like middle of the road. I think he's a good litmus test for him, for Abner to see where he's at. And I think they kind of gave him this fight. So then they're like, okay, cool. So we're going to just kind of slowly rise you up through the ranks and try to showcase his skills. So then maybe he can get a bigger name trying to sign with him. Next, I have Krystal Rosado versus Tania Walters. Who you got?
I think Tania Walters is going to win. She's actually my lock of the week. I think that she's being overlooked. I know she has like age that's not on her side, but I think that she's going to be the more devastating puncher, and we're going to see her actually do a big upset. I think it's going to be a huge upset. I think that Krystal Rosado, I think she's more, she's like early in her career, it seems like. It seems like she's fighting people that she's supposed to beat. She hasn't really fought any like tough people, like who she fought,
I mean, I differ from you. I have Krystal winning this fight. It's mostly because of the age and like the height advantage bodes well for Krystal. But I mean, I could definitely see Tania winning. The more I look into Tania, the more I like her style. And I think it's a really good matchup for her. Krystal, the big knock that I have for her is that her competition is definitely sus. The people that she fought, when you watch the replays, you're like, you were supposed to win that. Like most people would win that fight.
Yeah. And the other thing is that with Tania, the way you beat Tania is you clinch with her a lot and you don't really let her get her offense off. And I noticed that Rosado doesn't really clinch too much, which is cool. It's going to be a little slugfest, but I think that bodes well with Walters and her fight game.
Yeah, because she's like a huge like swing for the fence at times kind of person.
Yeah, and she's got some power. Even her jab sometimes like stuns people.
Next, we have John Paul Rivera-Pizarro versus Alfredo Cruz.
Honestly, this one feels more like a stepping stone fight. I have Rivera. His opponent was already knocked out earlier this year, so it's pretty crazy that they're going to put him up against a guy like Rivera. This is a great fight for Rivera. And I think that, like I said, it's a stepping stone. I think he's going to win. Rivera has great pressure and counter striking. He's going to put the pace on him, and he's just going to wilt him.
Actually, this is my lock of the week. I have Rivera by KO. I think that Alfredo Cruz, I think he's a little bit past his peak, and the guy that put him out was not nearly as good as Rivera, in my opinion. I think that his skills and his knockout power is a little bit better, personal opinion, but I just think that because of that, I think that he's coming back a little too soon, probably, for someone like this. Lock it in. Next, we have Ebony Bridges versus Alexis Moniz. Who do you got?
I have Alexis for this one. It's been 2 years since Ebony's been in the ring, and she's her age. She's 39 years old. She keeps her hands down. I see Alexis outboxing for 8 rounds. I don't think this is going to be a KO TKO. I think it's going to be 8 rounds of her getting outboxed.
I think this one's really a toss-up. It's kind of difficult for me to say one or the other because they're both old. You know, like Ebony's 39, but I believe Alexis is 35, and she only has like 6 fights under her belt for professional boxing. A lot of people are saying Ebony's going to be that chick because she was that chick at one point, you know, being a champion and everything like that. But I could see it going either way. I could see her coming out and being like, yo, I am that chick still. Don't worry about it. You know, come see me, outpace this chick. Or I can see it being like, oh, she hasn't been in the ring for like 2 years. The ring rust is like accumulating. And by the time that ring rust comes off, it's like, oh shit, I can't, catch back up at that point. I mean, I do have Ebony. Like I'm just leaning with her a little bit just because she is good. But I can see Alexis winning. So if you're feeling pretty strong about Alexis, like we can go Alexis.
Well, I think that Ebony just like isn't very good. So you're saying she's very good, but I don't think she's very good. Like she just like bomb rushes forward, headstrong, like kind of like, I don't know, just like not very technical when she's in there. And
very brawly.
Yeah, very brawly. And it ends up in a lot of clinch work and it's just kind of messy. She has decent power for sure, but I don't think she's like good. And I think the 2 years off we're really going to see that in this fight. And Alexis has been training. I think a lot of the people in her weight division at this moment would probably dust those cobwebs. You know what I mean?
Dust the cobwebs off her?
Smack those cobwebs off her.
Damn, dude.
So, I don't know. I just don't see her getting it done. I think Alexis takes this one.
All right, we can go Alexis on the parlay. Next, we have Henry LeBron versus Juan Tapia. Who you got?
I have LeBron on this one. I like LeBron for this one.
LeBron James.
I like LeBron a lot. LeBron's got a really good jab. He has really good angles. I think that Juan sometimes gets a little overzealous. We saw this in the Shakira fight when he was against the ropes. And he just kind of starts swinging. And he just gets caught. Like, he throws his hook really wide. And he throws like a lot of extra space with all of his punches. And you just can't be doing that shit, especially against LeBron. So I think LeBron's gonna, I think he's gonna batter him.
I really like LeBron. LeBron? Fuck it, we're calling him LeBron. I really like LeBron's style. I think that he has a very good blend of IQ, footwork, power. It kind of has a little bit of everything. And I think that's just, something that Tapia does not have. Tapatio. Yeah. I mean, I honestly think that LeBron can, if he really puts it on him, he could do a really special performance with just how good he is in the ring with his fight sense and IQ and just, putting it all together. Next, I have Yandiel Rivera versus Jonathan Gonzalez. Who you got?
I have El Dr. Cito. I have him winning. I think that he's very defensively sound. I think he's going to put the pressure and the pace on Jonathan. And I think that Jonathan's just going to be against the ropes the entire time. I think he's going to carry him against the ropes the entire fight. I don't think that he's going to get a TKO KO. I think he's going to go the distance, but he does have the power and the precision to get it done. But I would say just the decision. I think he's going to win decision. He's going to carry him against the ropes the entire time, just battering him.
I also have Rivera. I think he's the younger fighter. Gonzalez, I mean, he's no slouch, former champ and everything like that. But I don't think he has the Olympic level footwork that Rivera has. And I think that it ultimately does go to decision, but I think that Rivera is just going to look really good in this fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a really big performance for Rivera.
Yeah, I just really hope that he's not overlooking him.
I don't think El Dr. Cito would do that.
I mean, that would be a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to have happen because he used to be a champ.
How fun would it be if it was by El Dr. stoppage?
Fucking dude.
El Dr. Cito.
Just a nice, perfectly surgically placed cut above the eye. Oh my gosh. You just know for a fact that the commentators would say some dumb shit about that.
You toss your opponent, but you can't toss the salad.
He needs to go and get a suture.
You need to leave.
Put in the highlights again. I am so excited, dude. We're on the co-main event. We have Stephanie Hahn versus Holly Holm for the belt. Who you got?
Who do you got?
Who do I got? I got Hahn by moneyline decision.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
I mean, I love Holly Holm.
Oh, my God.
Just to start off, big fan of Holly Holm. You know, obviously us being MMA fans, we have to be, regarding her as one of the greats. I mean, she put an end to, who's that one chick?
The Ronda madness.
Oh, the Ronda Rousey madness. That's right.
The Ronda debacle.
Yeah. Like, dude, how sick was that knockout?
Oh, so sick.
Absolutely.
I thought it was even cooler
beautiful.
because Ronda was like, "And what? All you have is that head cake. You aren't going to hit me with that shit."
Yeah. About that.
This aged like milk.
Yeah, seriously. The forums back in the day were saying that.
Yeah.
This aged like curdled milk.
Skibbity.
They're like, shut up, nerd. But in all seriousness, I do love Holly Holm. I think that she's gonna look good for her age. She's 44 years old. I think that the first 2 or so rounds, she's gonna look really good. We're gonna be like, okay, she might be able to just take out Han. But then obviously, as the rounds go on, I think that she's gonna kind of wane a little bit. And that's when Han's really gonna take over. And then I think that it's just gonna be a unanimous decision by the end of it. Unfortunately, it's really hard to bet on someone that's 44 years old. I mean, like, I'm just saying, putting money on a 44-year-old person is just such a wild bet. And that's a person that loves wild bets. Like,
seriously.
I love me some good long shots, but I'm not putting that on a parlay. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm doing it when I'm live betting and I'm looking at her and I'm like, oh, she looks pretty fucking locked in. You know, maybe I'll throw some money on there. But when I have all these other fights that I feel very confident on, I'm not going to put something I'm like, I'm not too confident on her. And she's 44. No, absolutely not.
This was going to be my lock of the week. I have Han. I think that she just looks so good. She does such a great job of pulling in so she can counter. So she'll hit people's like front hands so that they have to throw their backhand, and then she counters off that. Or another thing that I really like that she does is she engages, disengages, and re-engages like that, like so fast. She'll be striking, and then she comes out, and then you think that it's done. You're gonna reset. I go, you go. I go, you go. But she goes, I go, oh, I countered you, and on top of that, I'm going to go again, and then I'm going to go again. Oh, I'm going to counter you again. Like, that's just like her pace. And then she's like, okay, now I'm back here. Now I'm going to reset, and then we're going to restrike again. It's like her pace and her pressure is so good. Her accuracy, everything. Holly Holm, though, has such good power. And if she does catch Han, I think that she could, win some rounds, some 10-8 rounds. I don't think she's going to put out Han. But we have seen Han get dropped in the past. I think our last fight, she got dropped, actually. And, she just got up and she beat her. And she looked great doing it. So I have Han. I think that she just looks like the more polished fighter.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have Holly Holm win it. I think that's cool. Again, huge Holly Holm fan. But, like, again, I just don't see her winning it against Han. Like her, especially how Han fights is like such a mismatch for people that are older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that pace is hard to keep up when your cardio is not what it used to be, type of thing. Mm-hmm. And then such a good point about the how she doesn't like really reset too often. Mm-hmm. It's like she does a bunch of engages, disengages, re-engages. Which I absolutely love that fighting style. That was such a great point.
Yeah.
Not to glaze too much.
No, but it's so good. But if you look at that, that's going to bode very well with her because Holly Holm, her style is more MMA, where it's like engage, disengage, engage, disengage. Like I'm going to hit you with a 3-punch combo. I'm going to see what happened with that. Are you hurt? Are you wobbling? Like, what am I doing? What are my angles? What are my reads? And then I'm going to go back in. But with her, it's like she's just reading in the moment instantly, just doing everything. She's been there before. She's going to put the pace, put the pressure on. And one thing with Holly Holm is that she does have great boxing for like MMA, kickboxing, but in the boxing ring, no disrespect for Holly Holm. I love Holly Holm. But compared to a boxer, not as sharp, not as crisp as the more polished Han. Also, I love the fact that Han is a police officer. And so she does police shit all day. And then she hits the gym at night. And then she runs like every day. Like she just works it around her schedule. So interesting. And she's a champion. Like what?
Fucking love that shit.
Crazy.
Now we have the main event. We have Amanda Serrano versus Reina Téllez. Who you got?
I have Reina Téllez money line. Just kidding.
I'm mad. My heart sank. I was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
I'm not
It's actually
debating
my
you
lock
with
of the
this.
week.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, being a dickhead. No, I have Amanda Serrano, obviously. I would have picked Amanda Serrano before the fight got switched, but this is a short notice fight. I think the only way that Reina's even gonna win this fight, that she has a chance, is when she dips low and she does those big overhand shots and tries to get those power knockouts. But that's really all she's got. I think it's going to be a very easy night. I don't even know why they picked this fight. You're going to see a very, very good-looking Amanda Serrano performance. So I guess enjoy that easy money.
I mean, if Katie Taylor did not exist, Amanda Serrano would only have one loss.
Katie Taylor's a beast.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. I mean, she showed it 3 fights. Unfortunately, she does exist. So, there's 3 losses on her record. The only other loss that she has is with a girl named Frida Wahlberg. And
Mark Wahlberg's sister.
Wallberg.
Oh, Mark L. Wahlberg's sister.
Yeah, but she's also an absolute demon. They fought for the WBC championship belt, I believe. Or one of those boxing belts. I think it was WBC. If I get it wrong, I'm sorry, guys. But she fought her. She's an absolute demon. She only lost one time. She lost the last fight of her career. So that says something. Amanda Serrano, absolute dog. I absolutely love how she fights. Very Puerto Rican, fiery fighter.
Dude, she does not stop.
She does not stop. She keeps that pace going. And she goes for the knockouts. Like, it's not, if it goes to decision, it's not because she tried to carry them to decision. It's just, I didn't have enough time to knock him out. Mm-hmm. Which I appreciate that fight, like that fight philosophy in boxing, because that's not a very common philosophy, especially for small people, especially for women. It's it's hard to knock women out because you just can't get enough torque, enough power behind those shots. So
yeah, until we see Walters fight this weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the real deal is going to show us that she's that chick.
Yeah, that she is the real deal.
She is the real deal, indubitably.
All right, that's a wrap for this week's fights. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoy this content, all of our social media is linked in the bio. Be sure to subscribe, cash those tickets, and don't forget, bet smart, fight hard. We'll catch you in the next card.